What's poppin', y'all? We might finally be getting to the end of an era, which is one of the most extended trials we've seen in our age of hip-hop history, which is YNW Melly. One of the craziest stories with a double homicide, an alleged double homicide, on his own two close friends, and YNW Bortlen was one of the people that was involved in this case, charged, facing multiple life sentences, and YNW Melly facing the death sentence. But today, after a mistrial, keep in mind, and these guys have been locked up since, I think, 2018, YNW Melly. Bortlen, I don't know if they picked him up 2018 or 2020, but today he finally took a plea and says YNW Bortlen has avoided the possibility of multiple life sentences after taking a 10-year plea deal as an accomplice in the YNW Melly double murder case. And I'm going to play you guys the clip right now from the Law and Crime. They got the inside footage.
Okay. So, Mr. Henry, again, two cases. We're going to do one at a time. In case number 19, 1871 CF10A, as to count 3, accessory after the fact to murder in the first degree, and as to count 4, accessory after the fact as to murder in the first degree. How are you going to plead, sir? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest? In case number 23, 10643 CF10A, as to count 1, tampering with a witness in a capital felony, and count 7, unlawful use of a two-way communication device. How are you going to plead, sir? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest? I will accept your no contest pleas as to each. I'm going to find a factual basis to support each based upon my review of each electronic probable cause affidavit as well as your stipulation in court here today. I'm going to further find that you have freely, voluntarily, and intelligently waived your rights, that you have knowingly entered each plea with the advice of competent counsel who you've told me that you are satisfied with, that you understand the nature of the charges and the consequences of the plea. Accordingly, and pursuant to the negotiated agreement, I will sentence you as follows. In case number 19, 1871 CF10A, as to count 3 and count 4, I will adjudicate you guilty, sentence you to 10 years in Florida State Prison. That will be followed by 6 years of reporting probation. I will impose mandatory court costs. Pursuant to 943.325, I will need a set of your prints and DNA. Pursuant to 938.27, I will impose a cost of prosecution of $100. Sir, I'm also ordering restitution in that case payable to Terry, T-E-R-R-I, Bagley, B-A-G-L-E-Y, and Ashley, A-S-H-L-E-Y, Phillips, P-H-I-L-L-I-P-S, and reserving as to the amount. I'm going to give the state 120 days to tell me the amount of the restitution. If they fail to do so within 120 days, there will be no restitution. If they come back with an amount and the attorneys agree on the amount, I will impose that as another condition of your sentence to pay back. If they come back with an amount and the attorneys do not agree.
This was posted as a Gunna plea. He pled no contest, but here it says, so for reference, academics coined this term called the Gunna plea, and he says, for when you take a plea that basically confirms that your mans did the crime, since part of your plea is admitting things that your co-defendant entire case was trying to deny. Now, in this particular scenario, it was the car that Gunna was in, which is where this came from. And they're saying that Gunna pled that it wasn't his guns. So he said that, those are not my guns. So if you're saying it's not your guns and there's only 2 people in the car, you're saying that it's the other person's guns. And even Young Thug would later come out and say, hey, look, this guy told. Even if he took his Alfred plea, which is pleaing out, he said that we're trying to fight against this being a gang, and you sat there and said that this is a gang. So they're trying to point that on Bortlen as well, which Bradford Cohen, who elite lawyer, criminal lawyer, out of Florida, Kodak's lawyer, this guy got Kodak Black pardoned by Donald Trump. That's how you know he's elite. But he's given his own thoughts on this. So I'm going to play you guys this clip because he seems to disagree with people that are alleging that Bortlen told.
All right, let's get to it. Let's talk YNW Bortlen and YNW Melly. The information is coming in fast and furious to my office. People are calling me left and right. They saw the post. You know what time it is. And they are telling me that YNW Bortlen is not going to be a flipper, and he is not going to be the cheese eater I previously said that he could become. And he is going to give a statement. I don't know what that statement's going to be, but his attorney is an excellent attorney. He's one of my good friends and really helped me out as a young attorney. Fred Haddad, a great guy. And he represented Very, very few, if any, flippers in the past. That's why I was kind of surprised at first. But it turns out, the rumor on the street, YNW Bortlen is not going to be a flipper, but he will give a proffer.
So, it's up in the air, but regardless of whether or not he told and all of the technicalities, there was no better time to tell for Bortlen than right now. Not only, what did people expect? Oh, if we're going to get the needle or the electric chair, whoop-de-doo. These guys were facing life. And keep in mind, he got 10 years. He's already been in there for, 5+ years? So already half his time is done. So he's got, 4 or 5 more years, maybe less, out of a potential life sentence. That's a hard deal to say no to, and I think they've come at him with multiple deals, but this one was the most appealing because you guys got to keep in mind, I think they probably gave him 2025 earlier in 2020, 2021 before the trial started, and maybe even during the trial, but once that mistrial came, I think they just want a guilty plea. I don't know how or what types of deals Melly got. If Melly got a deal like this, he probably would have jumped at it, considering he gets out, Melly gets out, he's going to be a for sure superstar. But even if YNW Bortlen gets labeled a rat or whatever, which people like 6ix9ine have been trying to run this narrative on him as well, which I do think it's a good opportunity for 6ix9ine to take. He does need adversaries to exist in the rap game. His music is not enough, and his music came in adversarial, whether it was with Trippie Redd, whether it was with YG, whether it was with any number of other people he just started creating beefs with, Chief Keef, etc. He's always needed conflict for his rap career to exist. But YNW Bortlen is coming in when everybody told. Like Gunna told, people are saying Young Thug told, who else told? YSL Obama, who we've never heard of, Woody told, up there on the stand, but then tried to take it back. We're getting interrogation footage of everybody. Everybody is snitched out. Everybody's ratted out. We're just oh, okay, another one of those. When 6ix9ine came into the game, it was fresh. It was a fresh teller. So everyone came at him, and granted, 6ix9ine, and imagine if 6ix9ine was sitting down doing 45 years right now, or 20 years, or however much, and then all of these people told, and he kept it solid. Man, he would probably hate his life. We'd probably see him taking the towel or the bed sheets and exiting this planet of ours, this plane, probably moving on to a separate plane. Although, do I ever see him doing something like that? Nah, I don't know about that. But yeah, so he signed a proffer agreement with the state. So he's agreed to give truthful statements about the YNW Melly double murder case. And he was smiling. And when Bradford Cohen talked about, he has to give a proffer, he's saying that this guy doesn't have to testify because that was going to be one of, I think it was either Duke or Yak Gotti. I think it was Yak Gotti that was supposed to testify against Duke in the trial. Had Duke not took the plea. This is just this person taking a plea, this person taking a plea. It's so confusing to keep up with, especially the YSL stuff. You got 30 members in there. But Bradford Cohen is saying it's just a proffer. But then people are going to say, well, what's the deal with the proffer agreement? My question is, how has Bortlen been able to afford good legal counsel? Because Bradford Cohen said, he knows the lawyer for Bortlen. So if he knows the lawyer for Bortlen and he said that's his man's, that means it's not cheap. So how is Bortlen able to afford it all of these years? YNW Melly, this guy's music is still spinning. Let's be real here. He's got timeless music, and it's from an era, and his career got cut short. I think the guy still got 10 million monthly listeners. How many expenses do you think his label has spent on him? This guy's recouped maybe 5 years ago. These guys haven't spent a dime on Melly since, and his music just keeps streaming. He actually dropped a project in 2024. I didn't even know about that. It was more Bortlen was on this project. So how much of this was Melly telling Bortlen to take a plea? I'm not sure, because if Melly, allegedly, is the type of person to slime out and annihilate 2 of his close friends, I don't think he's telling another friend of his to take a plea deal that may harm him. But the only thing that we can think of is that he's the one that's paying for this lawyer, because how else would Bortlen be able to afford it? The guy's got 50,000 monthly listeners. He's got we wouldn't say motion, because people have been following this case, but I do think this case is also an example of people being fatigued. After the first mistrial, I think a lot of people just chalked it up to, okay, dog, just give us an update when this thing is over. We're not following every single update anymore. Now, this is close to it being over because they're supposed to start there was supposed to be a new trial that was set to start in 2026 or 2027, and we haven't gotten that, and that must be exhausting for YNW Melly too. But yeah, 6ix9ine's comment was, YNW Bortlen just accepted his plea deal with prosecutors. YNW Melly is cooked. I don't know. We all thought YNW Melly was cooked, and this guy got a mistrial. That's insane. And it's crazy that they still haven't even let the guy off on bail. Dude, where else is he gonna go? And yeah, so initially they said that he would testify, but now they're just saying it's a proffer. It is what it is. He says, I've been told y'all about all these rappers years ago, but since they were scared of how big I was, everyone singled me out. I just think that there wasn't as many people telling. It wasn't a topic of discussion, and people were willing to not let it get to the mainstream. After 6ix9ine is when the conversation got to the mainstream, and 1090 Jake really helped propel it to the next level, and then you got Whack 100 and like the exposers. So it was that storm of events that made everyone get exposed for telling. But let me know what y'all think about this in the comments. Do you think Melly's gonna take a plea deal? If they gave this guy 10 years and they really want Melly, I don't know, man. There's no way Melly would take this deal. I just wonder what's going on between them. We need to hear from Melly. When people were like, yo, we need to hear from Thug, we need to hear from Melly. But let me know what y'all think in the comments. Like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell if you enjoyed. And I'm going to see y'all in the next one.